Alright lads, welcome back to the Inside Minecraft podcast. Everything you need to know inside Minecraft. I'm Insane Orbits, coming at you for the 14th week in a row. That's probably not the 14th. Either way, we're nearly caught up with the podcast weeks in the before I took the big break, and we're gonna well surpass it. We've come so far, and I am joined with a very special guest who we were meant to be recording this podcast yesterday. However, I delayed it because I wasn't feeling too well, and lucky enough, because news has come up about them. Yes, I'm really hyping him up. It's the man, the myth, the legend. It's ItzIgglesPiggles.
Hello, how's it going?
How are you today, Pickles? I'm great, thank you. By the way,
I'm existing. I got a little bit of a cold, but other than that, I'm fine. The energy's still there, and that's what matters.
yeah, exactly, and that's what we need for the podcast: the hype energy, Pickles. You know.
Definitely.
Out of curiosity, not to put you on the spot here, I don't actually ask people this question, but I do want to ask: have you listened to any of the other podcasts?
For legal reasons, my lawyers advised me not to answer that question.
I think that's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to listen to any of the podcasts.
I took a little look at like the people, and I saw that you on Spotify, which I didn't expect. I saw that.
Yeah, no, I like when I do things, Pickles. I really like to do it professionally.
I respect it.
Other than my main channel, that's kind of turned into a bit of a shit show. You know, the podcast wise and all that kind of jazz is I like to keep it quite professional. So, Pickles, I like to give the intro for you to kind of let the viewers know who you are, and I assume most people listening know who you are because you're bloody everywhere. You're global.
Something about global.
You're global, yes. Everyone knows it is ItzIgglesPiggles. But yeah, if you could just give us like a little rundown of who you are, what you do, a fun fact, even if you want, it's up to you. Just anything, really.
Okay, I am known on the internet as Piggles. It's a weird thing to introduce myself as, and it's not something I do often. But I make weekly Minecraft, usually, videos, and I do 4 streams a week as well. I kind of became popular, if that's the word, from MCC testing, and then just kept creating content from there. And now I'm at a point where, I do weekly uploads and have a consistent, but small but nice, well-rounded community. Fun fact wise, I have a fruit shoot next to me right now. I drink fruit shoots and I get made fun of quite often for it. There you go.
I don't think that's a bad thing at all. That's fruit shoots are banging. What do you mean?
Yeah, I get made fun. To be fair, I mean, you probably shouldn't do it in public, but the game's the game, you know.
So what? I mean, that can be taken really out of context. You probably shouldn't do it in public, but game's the game. Like, if you just completely ignore what you said beforehand.
That's crazy. But once again, the game is the game. So you know.
No, Piggles, no. Oh my god. No, fruit shoots are sick. I don't understand why. It doesn't matter where you drink fruit shoots. They're banging. Why does it have to be a bloody age limit of like you're too old for a fruit shoot?
Sometimes I've been out in areas where like people have all been drinking and everybody's like, "Oh, what are you drinking?" They're like, "Oh, I got cider." "Oh, what are you drinking?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got fruit shoots."
Oh, well, that's a bit different, isn't it? If everyone's out drinking and you're just getting drunk on fruit shoots. Like, come on. No, well, great introduction, Piggles. A nice way to warm up to the podcast as well. I always know with someone. I said this to Neb last week as well, give or take. That podcast hasn't come out at the time of recording this, so you wouldn't have been able to see it. If you did listen to the podcast.
I was searching. I couldn't see Neb, and you mentioned Neb, and I was like, "What's happened here then?"
So what I tend to do is I record on the Monday and then upload the previous Monday's podcast on the week I record on. So like Neb's one will come out this Friday and this podcast will come out next Friday. It's just because it gives me a bit of time. Like Neb's podcast is fully edited, but it gives me a time if like I'm busy this week to kind of get your podcast 2 weeks.
I used to try to do videos in advance, but that quickly fell apart.
Well, with podcasts it's easier, isn't it? But the issue is it also becomes like a bit of a thing because I can talk about this to you. With Neb, we talked about firstly about CPK not playing in Block Wars anymore, and he got announced for Block Wars.
I was gonna say that's news to me. What?
Yeah, so we said that. So we said how he doesn't play in it much anymore since the split, and then like 2 days later they announced him into Block Wars. And then we also talked about MCC Rising before it was hinted at specifically. We're not going to jump the gun in any way. But once again, this is all the MCC Rising thing we'll get into talk now, so I'm not going to talk about it now, but we are going to talk about that soon. Pickles. But yeah, either way, back to what I was saying with Nebula, what I was saying is like, with me and Neb, we never interacted on a voice call before the podcast.
Okay.
Like properly at least, and we just talked for like an hour straight, and it's like we've been talking together for years, and like now with the intro I can already tell that this is going to be a good entertaining podcast kind of thing.
Yep.
Because it's always nice when you have someone who kind of matches your energy in the fact of like, even if you haven't interacted much, they're still here to just have a good time, and like me to get to know you, and for like the viewers and the community to get to know you a little bit more, you know. So
yeah, that makes sense. Creation and all that.
Exactly. Well, exactly. But it's also a case of like I might ask some questions where viewers the community are either curious and just never had the chance to ask you. Maybe they asked on stream, they got missed, or maybe they've just never thought of asking. Or there's like other questions where I ask you and they might be like, oh, that's really interesting. I just never would have asked them that kind of thing. And that's why I love the podcast, because I praise myself in saying I'm quite good at this kind of thing with like talking to people. So like, that's why I love doing the podcast, because you know I get to know people a little bit more. So, but yeah, moving on from the intro, I like to follow a format. I told you the format before we started the podcast of a kind of a past, present, future kind of one. So you're British, Piggles.
Sounds like an insult when you say it like that.
Oh no, I'm half English, half Irish, so I mean borderline insult, I guess, because I'm not fully British. You're British. Curse you. This isn't really a past thing, but I do want to ask it because I've never asked it before. What is your go-to meal deal and where from?
My go-to meal deal?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm very picky eater, all right? So I never used to get like meal deals, especially like sandwich-wise. Sandwiches I eat are very basic. So back in the day, we're talking like quite a few years back now, like whenever there'd be an opportunity to get one, they'd always just have a bunch of extra stuff on it I didn't eat. Like mayonnaise, for example. You try and get a sandwich like 5 years ago from a store, they all have mayonnaise on them. Every single one. It's outrageous.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I get that.
Nowadays, that's not the case. But when I was in college, when was that? Jesus, what? Probably three. I want to say three. No, 2 or 3 years ago. Anyway, when I was in college, obviously started getting food outside, like on my own or with other people, and that's when we started going to Tesco. Got the good old Tesco meal deals, and I took a leap of faith. I went for a pasta. I don't typically eat pasta.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I always get the cheese and tomato pasta. And then back then I used to get the sour cream and onion Pringles, the little like snack,
Good. I have them in my bag right now.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's based, and and a 500ml bottle of Ribena. That was the meal deal right there.
I haven't had a Ribena in like 5 to 7 years.
Really?
I haven't had one in so long because they annoy my throat a little bit.
That's fair. It's like my go-to. Like when I'm like getting a drink from like a what's the word? The petrol station. That's the one. That's like the go-to drink. Either that or a Capri Sun Orange. They're the go-to ones.
Slaps. The berry one, the blueberry one, Capri Sun is really good as well.
I'm an orange enjoyer. I can't speak for the other Capri Sun flavors.
Fair. But for the Americans, by the way, a petrol station is a gas station. Okay, just in case. Because what's petrol? It's what we put in our cars. Okay, that's what we do. Do you want to hear my one?
Yeah, sure.
So where I work, it's like a thing, but the closest thing is a Sainsbury's. So I kind of get my meal deals from a Sainsbury's. But to be honest, it's like my meal deal is pretty much the same everywhere. I get a Southern fried chicken wrap, a Whisper bar, and either a bottle of Coke or a Red Bull.
The Red Bull, that's crazy.
I'm so bad.
You gotta get the energy.
Oh man, especially working in hospitality, like yeah. But
yeah, that's fair.
At my old job, there was a Boots nearby, and I used to get it was either same thing, but I sometimes switch up the chocolate bar. Drink is pretty much always the same. I sometimes I get a red
extra Boots, surely.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was horrible. I got a Boots card in the end.
That's fantastic. Get a Boots card, but not for any of the like pharmacy stuff, just specifically for meal deals.
Oh no, I'm being dead serious. Like I think I racked up about like 2 free meals because of it. 2 free thing. So,
I didn't even know Boots had like loyalty cards that impacted that. I only found out Boots had meal deals like the end of last year. Like it rocked my world. It's crazy.
New, yeah. But I get like either that or like there was this like barbecue wrap or something. But it used to slap. It used to slap so much. But yeah, I guess moving on from the meal deal thing, very random. I just thought I'd ask it because why not? You know, like that's I said, you're British. So, right, moving into you now. About you, at least. So I normally word this in a way, but I'm gonna word this a little bit differently because I think it all comes into to one go. So your name's ItzIgglesPiggles, and your branding is a pig, right? That's your thumbnail, not thumbnail, sorry, your skin, your profile picture, everything to do with you is a pig. Where does your branding come from? Like, why is that your name? Why is that your skin? Well, I guess the skin relates to the name, but like, why is your branding to do with a pig?
So back in the day, I've been like around internet circles for relating Minecraft and stuff like 10 years. So back in the day, the first name I had and I wanted to first start doing content creation was ETHVenom. Quite obviously, yeah, ETHVenom. My real name is Ethan, so
All right.
yeah. So obviously inspired by
inspired,
AntVenom.
yeah.
Very very big fan. So that was the name for a while, and eventually I was speaking to a friend in a Skype call back in the day. We were saying how I kind of need to change my name because what if AntVenom tried to copyright strike me or something? But anyway, we came to the conclusion that there needed to be a name change, and we're like, all right, how do you come up with a name? And my friend was like, all right, what's something you like? And we just went through a few things that I said I liked, and I just said I like pigs. I do like pigs. They're cute. They're hype. When I was younger, I was like, why don't I just get a pet pig? Now, logistically, obviously not, but yeah. So we just went through. I like pigs, so let's just try and make names with pigs in the name, and ItzIgglesPiggles. That's basically how it came to be. And no, it's not related to the kids' TV show In the Night Garden, like everybody brings up. I did not know about that character's existence.
Yeah. Oh my
until
God, I forgot
after the
about
name
that.
was created. But yeah, that's kind of how it came to be.
That's actually your favorite show, is In the Night Garden.
I've never watched it, and I never will watch it. But the amount of people who bring it up is insane.
Fun fact, I'm not sure if you know about AntVenom's been on the podcast.
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, you mentioned it just before we started.
Yeah,
briefly,
it's a bit of a flex of mine, actually.
It's fair play. Like I'd flex it too. I played with him in Block Wars 3, and it was like it's up there as one of like the best things I've done online for sure.
But
sorry,
carry on, my bad.
No, you go.
But the thing is, it's not even a case of like. I think this is the same for you as well. It's not even a case of just because AntVenom has clout. Like I'm not flexing because I'm flexing because like I'm a fan of AntVenom. So I kept it really professional, and that is the longest. Like I think the podcast was, after editing, it was an hour and 44 minutes long, and and once we ended the podcast, he stayed on a call with us for an hour and a half talking to us.
Yeah, I mean he's
so
like
genuine.
It was the same thing for me. He's a really nice guy, and I mean I wanted to, because obviously I don't watch him anymore. He doesn't do the sort of things or whatever that I would typically sort of watch. I don't really watch Minecraft anyway. Yeah, back then it was kind of the point of it. It was kind of like it helped understand that how far I'd kind of come, like seeing and reaching the person that I kind of looked up to and motivated me to start this all in the first place. Reaching him and being friends with him on Discord, and him like chanting my name in the chat and popping off when I got first, stuff like that is like fever dream material. It's like childhood hero level
exactly, yeah,
stuff, and that was the thing that mattered to me, not just the oh my god, I'm with a guy who's you got millions of subscribers on YouTube. Oh my god, maybe I'm gonna be famous,
Yeah, and I feel like that's what sometimes when I talk, because I don't talk about it loads. I don't say it every single day, but like when I say stuff, I feel like some people understand it, and some people misinterpret it and go like, oh, like you're just happy because he has millions of subs. It's not because it's because he makes commentary content. I love commentary content. Like, and it's the same when like I met Potato Pie. He was one of the first, when I walked up to you and gave you the really awkward handshake at TwitchCon, which I won't stop thinking about, by the way. Potato Pie was one of the lads with me. He's a Twitch partner and has like 80k on YouTube. But like, as much as we're friends, we've been friends for 3 years, I was still so happy to meet him because like, not because he has 80,000 subscribers or because he's a Twitch one, it's because like I love his commentary content kind of thing.
That's fair.
But yeah, I had AntVenom on before you got into MCC, so I remember us talking about being in MCC. So I'd love to like get him back on. But anyways, moving on from that, with the pickles stuff like that, you said you've been around on the internet for about 10 years now, and that's how you got the name Piggles and all that kind of jazz. So how did you get into making Minecraft content, and more specifically Minecraft Java? Because I remember you said about making a Bedrock video, which I don't think you ever did because I never saw on your channel. But you talked about doing Bedrock, so obviously you know what Bedrock is, you've played Bedrock. So what is the deal with Minecraft content specifically, and more specifically Java content?
So I have actually done a couple of Bedrock videos, not like a ton, but there has been a couple where we just played a few Bedrock maps. I think probably like 2 years ago now, but I digress. I started creating content obviously because of the other people that I was watching, like I mentioned, people like Ant and that sort of stuff. But mainly, I it's kind of hard to describe. I wanted to kind of reproduce that. At least when I first started, that wasn't the case. When I first started, I was like, oh my god, this is cool. You just play a game and then people think you're cool. Oh my god. But obviously, the more I went, the more it kind of progressed into the thing that I've said, obviously in the video and stuff like that, about the make people smile, all that sort of stuff. That's kind of the thing with it now. But back then, it was just a case of, hey, I want to have all these experiences. Back in the day, you saw cops and robbers. I wanted that, and I was like, if I started making videos, I'll get that. And that was the very back when. I mean, when was the first video on my channel? Back in let me see, 2014. That's crazy.
Okay.
Back in 2014. Wait, that's almost 10 years. Oh no. Back in 2014, that was the thought process, was that I could get a group of friends and we could do all that stuff that I admired all the other creators doing. That was the original thing for sure.
Your first public video is from 3 years ago. So called Life Plus channel up.
So I
have the eVenom. Donate https:/streamlabs.com/eVenom in the description of this video.
If you go on my channel, I have all my old videos unlisted, and you can view them in a playlist on my channel. There's a playlist called Old Videos, and all the videos that have been unlisted
you actually
are all there.
Vlogs, music videos, live
we
life
don't talk about
music video.
I live life. Live life. We can talk about. Live life. We can talk about. But the rest. We don't talk about
New York trip. Welcome to New York. New York vlog. Washington DC. Oh my god, Piggles! What the heck? That's so sick. So you actually kept all of this, for people to kind of look back on and see.
Yeah, I view it as a thing of even while part of it is embarrassing in a sense, it's steps to get to where I am today. If I wouldn't have made all those cringe 2014 me with a fake American accent videos, I wouldn't be at the point I am now. I wouldn't have progressed and developed into the person I am today, So that's why I still have them there, and why people can still sort of access them.
Yeah, here we go. My first video vlog was specifically on the 12th of January 2014, so really not far away now at all.
Wow, yeah, I should do something next year. I don't know what, but I need to do something for 10 years. Holy hell.
100%. Maybe you can remake the video, but with how you are now. Why not? Why not?
I mean, I'm still sat in the same spot. To
exactly,
be fair, I'm still sat in the exact same spot. I could frame it the same. We'll see. Well, I'll cross that bridge when we get there.
What about Java content then? The content you kind of make now. How did you progress into that?
So I first of all I think the first thing I started doing with mods. I really liked Pixelmon back in the day.
I saw some.
So I did a lot of Pixelmon stuff. I even hosted my own series with other people, stuff like that. And then I watched mainly people I've been a Beijing Canadian. That sort of era was the era of YouTubers I watched. So I liked playing a lot of Hunger Games. That was the sort of the videos I did. Just mini games. In general on Minecraft servers for a lot of the stuff I did. I just did mod reviews for some reason. Don't know why I did that, but that's the thing I did at one point. But then slowly, it just kind of, I wanted a sense of spectacle. I wanted something that you can sit down and enjoy and want the next upload coming up. So I started joining UHCs. I joined the UHC community because recorded rounds are. Basically, it was every 2 days, everybody on a UHC would release the next episode, same time. And it'd be a 20-minute long episode, and then you'd wait the next 2 days for the next one, and you could pick and choose whose POVs you went to. And I loved that. I loved that I loved the event nature of it. The fact that it was everybody had a different POV. You could watch one POV and you could see at one point it's kind of Subspace Emissary in Smash Bros. How they all slowly interact with each other.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. With UHC, you could meet somebody at the end of an episode on the surface, and you could be about to fight, and an episode ends, and then you could be oh, I wonder how we got to this point. Let me check the other person's POV. I really loved that. So that's how I got into events, I guess, with UHCs. And then from UHCs, I got into MCC testing. Because I found MCC through Vicstar. That's funny. And then, I got into MCC testing. And then from there, kind of the UHC event enjoyment kind of developed into the overall Minecraft event enjoyment. And then that's where I kind of am still today.
You want to hear a fun fact regarding UHC and Vicstar? So,
yeah.
So do you know how they use used to upload UHCs every 2 days.
Yep.
So I watched that just like you. We shared the same childhood.
Mm-hmm,
but every single Sunday, I would save the week, and every single Sunday, I'd sit down with my egg sandwich for breakfast. I'd have 2 egg sandwiches for breakfast, and I'd watch Vic Star's POV of UHC. Only Vic Stars. I'd like watch some other ones, but I wouldn't watch the full episode. I'd skip to the end. Which now being a YouTuber, I realized it was a bit crappy for retention. I feel bad, but I would only watch like Vic Star's POV. So when Vic Star died, I was like, fuck this UHC. I hate it. So I think Vic Star won it like 3 times in the span of like 20 seasons. So that was fun. But yeah, so it's kind of that thing. But yeah, fair enough. So I guess moving into the present. We are going to talk about everything you mentioned with the MCC test and all that kind of jazz. But I do want to talk about one thing. I touched on it with the TwitchCon. So we have had 2 awkward interactions, Piggles. You might not think they're awkward. I think they're awkward.
What was the first one?
So I joined your stream one day, Piggles, talking to you. Like, hi, all this kind of stuff. And then I want to invite you on the podcast. It's like, can I add you as a friend on Discord? So you hit me with the, I'm sorry if I add you, then I have to add everyone. And then, I can't add everyone. And I went down on my chair and I was like, oh my god, because you didn't know I was a content creator, so it's like, it hurt. I was like, oh no. So I was like, oh, this is so like sad that he just hit me with the, if I add you, then I have to add everyone. So I can't. I'm sorry. I'm just like, no, because I just want you to come on the podcast. I mean, I got you here in the end. And then the second one was already. I just walked up to you, I shouted your name twice. So I was like, Piggles, and he was like, yeah. It's like I gave you a handshake and then I walked off. I don't know why I did that. I think it's because I am a little bit awkward at times. It was nice meeting you and saying hi. Yeah, at least. Yes. Did you think anything of that, or did you not really pay any attention to it?
So I wasn't expecting anybody to approach me at TwitchCon, mainly because I didn't think anybody would recognize me as like my face. Because I hadn't done much IRL stuff. Like I've done bits, but I hadn't done a ton. Yeah. And I was like, I think I was zoned out. I think at that time I wasn't really enjoying the experience.
It was a bit underwhelming.
So I was just kind of speaking to Sam. I just overheard my name and I was like, what's going on? And then obviously you were there and then you knew who I was, but I was already feeling like the awkwardness anyway, because TwitchCon for me, like it felt sort of entitled in the sense that like you were meant to kind of, at least in my position, I was meant to kind of go up to like content creators and be like, oh hey, and then like flash my badge as like a sort of like certification of like, I am valid, you know me. And I felt weird, and so I was in a really awkward spot with just speaking to people in general, because I didn't want to do the whole like, oh hey, I'm me, here's my badge so that you know, like I'm relevant, guys.
Which is what I did to you, kind of thing.
Yeah, but it just felt weird to me. So I didn't like doing that. So I think I was just speaking to Sam at the time, and I was just talking to him about how the overall experience was a bit weird at the time. And then obviously you said you called out my name, and I turned around really confused. I was like, who's calling my name? I'm not wearing anything that signifies that it's me, sort of thing. And then obviously you came up, and then since I didn't recognize your face, I was like, okay, who is this? How am I going to work this out? Am I just going to play along and be like, oh, hi, and just shake your hand, and then that was that, and then we'd go our separate ways? But no, obviously, thankfully, you flashed your badge, so I knew who you were.
Yeah. Well, I guess fortunately enough, so I had a funny experience with Nukri actually. So like I went up to him and I was kind of just standing in front of him. And he was just zoned down. He's just staring at me. I go, like, you alright? So he looked down at my badge, looked at me, and he went, oh! I was like, hello. And then Kirby comes over to me, right? Kirby character, you know Kirby, the creator of Multi-Spleef.
Wait, actually the creator of Multi-Spleef?
I believe it was Kirby, because they're always flexing. They're always like, oh.
Because he didn't say that to me, because he was like, I don't think he did, at least. He mentioned Multi-Spleef to me, like when we first saw each other, but I don't think he mentioned that he created it.
Let me check. I believe they said something about it on Twitter, so I'm just gonna double check here. It was either him or Kenzie's. It was one of them, but he played a part in creating Multi-Spleef, because they're always talking about it. But he comes up to me and I'm like, oh, like, nice to meet you, hi, you alright? And I look down his badge, I'm like, oh, like, hello. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, because I also felt really bad after, because I came and we were all sitting in that circle, and I came and sat in that circle, and I didn't realize it was Dong Fortnite next to you, Sam Dong Fortnite. And I would have loved to say hi to Sam as well, but I just didn't realize. I just wasn't really paying attention. I saw you, didn't really pay attention to who you were with, which was bad on my part, but like, you know, I just saw you. I mean, I wanted to see you, I wanted to say hi, and that kind of stuff, so I kind of went up and said hi. Yeah. And plus, I only face revealed on the day, so I wouldn't have expected you to know what I look like anyways.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, talking a bit more about TwitchCon, because I don't want to talk about it a little bit if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fun.
With like TwitchCon itself, how like you said it wasn't thingy, was it only because of the entitlement? Because personally, I've been to Comic-Con, I've been to Insomnia, I've been to all of that, and there's like a shit ton of booths. Can I swear, by the way? Am I good to swear? Because I swear.
Of course you. I mean, bro, it's your podcast.
yeah, no, but sometimes the guests might not like it. You know, you might not want to be associated with swearing.
It's all good.
Okay.
You say whatever you want to say.
Well,
your words.
I'm not gonna say anything too bad. But like, yeah, there's like a shit ton of booths. There's a crap ton to do. You get to meet creators, all this kind of stuff. But with TwitchCon, I was kind of walking around, and like, my world record for Minecraft speedrunning is like my personal best for Minecraft speedrunning is like 28 minutes. I think I did TwitchCon in about 15.
Yeah, I fully agree. I've been to the UK Games Expo, which is massive, which is it's like a board game thing, and I've been to Insomnia as well. And yeah, I would be lying if I said I wasn't very underwhelmed by the stuff that was at TwitchCon. I kind of said this on stream. I'm the weird demographic for it because I'm not really a big creator watcher, so I don't go to the meet and greets and like, oh my god, I love your content. Oh my god, I watch you every week. I don't do that. So I went more to meet mutuals, and obviously that was hard because I wasn't partner. That was like a big block, and also because I hadn't had that many bigger connections with the people that were there. Like obviously I knew. To be fair, this is wrong. This was a wrong statement. I was completely wrong about this. Everybody, all the big CCs we spoke to actually knew who I was, but that wasn't kind of what I expected.
It doesn't matter anyway.
But yeah,
the idea of
it just didn't work for me. Like I mean, first of all, France. I mean, don't get me started on France. It was rough. It was rough in every way. And then TwitchCon, obviously that was like the best part of the trip, but you know, either that had its issues because, like I say, I mean, there weren't many stalls. We kind of did all the stalls within the first day. There were a couple of things we went back to, like if you saw that big AR VR arena thingy with the shooting, we went back and did that the second day.
When I went over to it was it to watch, right? When I went over to it, they were like just standing there talking, and I didn't want to stick around because I'll explain that in a second. But yeah, Karen, I'll explain my feelings.
Yeah, but other than that, obviously the creator meeting, I would say TwitchCon was very rough for the majority of the time. There was a few highlights, obviously, where like things were really great, you know, meeting people or whatever. The big redeeming quality was at the very end. Everything started getting like, you know, I met a bunch of people, had a bunch of just, you know, speaking to people as humans rather than just as content creators, which is really nice. It ended off really strong for sure, but I can't say as if I would go to another TwitchCon with everything being the state as it is right now, especially not if it's in France.
Well, there's a lot of like thingy that might be in Spain or England. I reckon if it is in England, it'll be at the XL. I reckon.
If it's in England, it'll wherever it is, it'll be in the capital.
Yeah, so it'd be at the XL in London, which I know like a good hotel and everything. So I could hook people up with that. But yeah, so like when I what was I gonna say? Oh no, it's so with my experience, so I'm not sure you don't know this actually. I left my house at 3 a.m. in the morning on Saturday. Got the Eurostar at 6 o'clock. Got to France for 9:30 local time. Met up with Potato Pie 25, and then got to TwitchCon. Met up with Small Chloe, who is my Discord admin. And then we walked around the event, and then I left the event at like 5:30, and then got on a train home at 8 o'clock, and then got home at 11 p.m. So
Jesus.
Yeah. Me and my girlfriend did the same thing on like a Tuesday last month, just to like do a bit of a practice run of like France and stuff like that. Go see the Eiffel Tower and stuff before I went. But yeah, it was cool. Like I met CPK. We had like a talk for about 10 minutes. It was really nice, really genuine. I watch him like while I edit the podcast and stuff like that. So it was really cool to interact with him.
Yeah. I didn't get to meet CPK. I met him in Insomnia, but I didn't get to meet him because he didn't show up the second day of TwitchCon.
So I actually was talking to him, and I was like, "Oh, sorry, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'm only at TwitchCon today, and I'm off to Disneyland Paris tomorrow." I was like, "Oh, fair enough." You know, because
we were holding out on meeting him on the Sunday because we thought he was gonna leave early on the Saturday because he'd just flown over and he was super tired. So we were like, all right, he's gonna leave early on the Saturday, and then he'll probably spend all of Sunday actually around the con. We could not have been more wrong.
Oh no, you were so far off. And then we were gonna go to the Tubbo meet and greet, but ended up bumping into him. We're actually on his live stream. Cool. Tubbo, I met Quackity. which is cool as well, which is
I
crazy.
forgot Quackity was even there.
Yeah, that tweet got like 5.5k likes.
I did see that, yeah, because he liked it or something, right?
The Quackity Updates account retweeted it.
That was the one,
because I wasn't expecting to be a Twitch one. But the thing is, I also walked past a lot of people. Like I walked past AMZ, Echo. I got Phil's signature because I was just collecting signatures. And I know Chloe got a picture of Phil's, and Nina was really happy to meet Phil's. Like Echo, dark eyebrows. We walked past Sylvie and Hannah Rose as we was going down the escalator. Turns around, points to Sylvie, and goes, "That's Sylvie!" And Sylvie literally watched him do it, and then we just go down the escalator and walk off. We didn't even go back.
That's so funny.
Oh man, it's hilarious. And then I saw like Gracie and Heike hate me and stuff. And the thing is,
I
man,
watched them quite a lot. Yeah,
with them, it would have been cool to interact with them. But it was also a case of like, because I don't die hard watch their content, I would have felt awkward going up and asking for a picture because like I'm not like with like Rackety, I watch his videos. Turbo, I know it's Turbo, and then CBK, I watch his streams. It's that kind of idea.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, with TwitchCon itself, though, I know like because of last year's America one, they had that way down quite a bit, but that doesn't mean they can't have more bloody stalls.
Yeah, stuff. True. Like literally, on the Friday we went for badge pickup, right, and only the bottom floor was open, and we got there, and I looked around and I was like, "Tell me this isn't it. Tell me this is not it. Like we're here for the next 2 days. Tell me that this is not all that this card has to offer." And luckily, at least they had the second and third floor, but there still wasn't a ton. But yeah,
you watch football, right, Pickles? Oh no. No.
That'll be a no.
Well, the Euros are going on in Germany next year. So I think I might plan a motive of going to TwitchCon on the Saturday and then off Germany on the Sunday for the Euros.
Good luck with that.
I mean, I'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. But yeah, I don't know. Because TwitchCon, I think 1 day was enough for me. I don't think I could have done 2 days. It would have been cool to meet more people, but you know.
Yeah, no, I could have done everything I wanted to do in the first day as well.
Alright, so moving on from that, didn't realise how long we've been talking for, and we haven't covered like half the stuff I want to talk about. But yeah, so you mentioned once your UHC days were over, you became an MCC tester.
Yep.
You aren't a tester anymore, are you?
No, I am.
Oh, you're still an MCC tester?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So what exactly got you into that, and how come you stuck around doing it?
Okay, so I got into MCC testing because I remember one time I was with, obviously my friends around the time were obviously UHC community people, so we were getting a bit bored of UHC as you do because the game mode is horrendous. But anyway, and we were just looking around for stuff, and somebody mentioned that MC testing was a thing, so I looked around. I was like, how do I get in? I joined the Discord, and I saw when I joined it was like, oh, applications are closed. I was like, all right, well, sick, I've wasted my time. And then about 2 days later, I got a ping from the Discord saying that the apps were open. I was like, oh, perfect timing. So yeah, I applied. I got in. And I've been in there ever since. As to why I'm still there, even though my activities slipped a little bit recently due to like side personal things, whatever. The big thing, I guess, the big moment where a lot of people dropped off and where people would have expected me to leave was around Rising, MC Rising. Was that like no? It was the year before last, right?
It was 2 years ago. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, coming up. With 2 years ago.
Yeah, but yeah, so basically they said after everybody did their apps, first of all, I didn't even apply, even though I was allowed to, I didn't apply. They said anybody who was a tester at the time who wanted to apply had to temporarily leave, and then after all the apps were done, or after Rising, if you got in, you could be added back.
But they didn't even let anyone from testing get in, like no one who was a tester.
Well, no one got in, but you could still apply. Anyway, the actual... Rising happened, obviously. No testers got in, but afterwards, the announcer made a post in the Discord. They're like, "All right, guys, from now on, if you are a tester, you will not be able to play it in an MCC event until 12 months after your last test. So if you are ever wanting to participate in another Rising, another MCC, or whatever, then you may want to just leave the Discord." Can you hear that in the background?
Yeah, I can, but it's fine. Sorry.
Okay. And in the end, a lot of people started to leave. People like Wolfie, Misty, Shane, all those people left. Fun fact, Shane never did play a test. He only just got back into testing before Rising, never played a test, and then left. So, fun fact there.
He technically didn't have to wait 12 months, really. Yeah. But he did, yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people left, and people were asking me, was I going to leave? And the way I viewed it was, it felt wrong to turn my back on that community, considering it kind of helped me and reach a lot of places and get a lot of new friends. It felt wrong to me personally, my morals and stuff, to leave in an attempt to kind of make it big or in an attempt to kind of blow up and get in the actual event. It felt wrong to me, so I never did, and I never planned to leave with the pure intent of, oh, I could get more popular if I left and got in the real thing, because to me, it's leaving those people behind. And without those people and without me being in testing in the first place, I would never have, joined all the events I have. I would never have got as much exposure as I have. So yeah, that's like a big thing of a big part of it for me.
And let's be real as well, the only person who has already benefited of leaving is Firebreath, man. Because, yeah, Misty's played in an event, but I'm not sure if you saw the tweet before they deleted it. They made a bit of a...
I did see the tweet that they definitely shouldn't have tweeted.
Yeah, so that was awkward. And then, like, I know Wolfie's doing really well with Block Wars, but then he also hasn't played in MCC either, so it's kind of, like, missing out on that. So, like, it's not exactly like anyone has really benefited from leaving, because I think it's also a way to look at it, and I'm not saying that, like, you shouldn't be in MCC, because I think you're great in every tournament ever, and I think you're very good at the game. But it's also a case of, like, you probably looked in the mirror as well and been like, okay, so if I leave testing, do I actually stand a chance of playing in the event?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I looked at that, but I mean, it wasn't the main thing, but I looked at it, like, yeah, there ain't no way.
I guess alongside that then, we're kind of going to jump back and forth through topics here just because they link into each other. With MCC testing, I assume that's where the origin of the lads came from. Or was the lads before MCC testing?
The lads was created in MCC testing, but it wasn't anything to do with me. This is back there. So when I joined MC testing, that was when they did a big purge. Originally MC testing was really easy to get into. You just had to be like known by somebody in testing or by the Notscrew, and you could just ask and they just ID you. But over time, it became really sweaty, and there's people with no mics, and the systems they had weren't like good or anything, and whatever. And it got to a point where people weren't listening at all in tests and stuff like that. So around August, they did a big purged literally everybody other than I think one or two people. And that's when they did the apps, the ones that I applied for and opened in. Back then, before I was in, they created the Lads Discord. It was a group of people who kind of wanted an area to talk about MCC where they could be, no filter. They could talk about whatever. They were just close friends anyway within MCC testing.
They could leak stuff within testing without leaking anything.
Yeah, that sort of thing, yeah. So that was created, before I joined. I joined Lads itself the following year after I joined testing, I think around January or February. Okay. There was a community Discord for MCC testing that was basically decrepit now, called like Deception or something, where we played like Among Us quite often, stuff like that. And in that Discord, I was in a call with Dynamite Donut. We just played Warzone, I think, which is very out of character for me because I dislike Warzone a lot. But if you know the hit Minecraft server, everybody's least favorite Minecraft server, ZeroMiner.org. They just announced they were doing a beep test, and Donut really wanted to go, and I was like, I didn't want to be on my own in a call, so I was like, I'll join the beep test, and he was like, I want to join my friend's call, and he's like, I'll just ask if you can join, and then that's how I got added to Lads, and then over time in Lads, I was very active. I started playing Valorant because of them, absolute disaster.
I hate that game.
And I just became very vocal, found my footing in there, really fit in, and now I'm one of the, I guess, known that almost the most as one of the main lads and that sort of stuff. But by no means am I an original or anything like that. But yeah,
not to put down anyone else in the group, because I watched the weakest link video. That was good.
Got a couple of the bangers coming up.
I'm looking forward to it. And there's like a hide and seek planned as well, isn't there?
Well, unfortunately, the hide and seek didn't happen. But
wow.
So the thing with the hide and seek was we got to the house and we were like, so where are we gonna hide?
Okay. I thought it was like hide and seek in like public. I thought that's what the plan was. But
so we have bingo in real life. That's the in public one. That's the one in public. That is it is a banger. That'll be coming out next week. So actually, they'll be coming out the week. In fact,
so this podcast comes out.
It'll be out if it comes out on Friday next week.
This podcast comes out on the 28th next week. Yeah.
Yeah, so it will be all my RL video, actually, bar one. The next two, so the cook-off is this week, and then the bingo is next week.
Yeah.
Both of those will be out by the time this is out, so yeah. They're fantastic videos. So much fun. I can't wait. I've edited part of one of them, but yeah, it's fantastic. Can't wait.
But yeah, with that, I don't know why. I guess it's because it's the more clouded in quotation marks people. I always thought like you, Wolfie, and Fire Breath Man were the OGs, which is bad to assume. I guess and because Sam's in it as well. When he's Sam in it, lads.
Yeah, Sam's the.
I guess
the
that's because you guys are the only ones I really know. That's why. But
yeah, we're the only ones who do content. Sam. Well, Kaiser was the one who made the group, but Sam is now kind of the group like in charge. You know, he owns the Discord, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There is like a role in the Discord, so the Discord's kind of community-ish. Like there's like 50, 60 people in there. But there's like 15 or 20 or so people with the lads TM role. We're like the lads, like we're the ones. There's a separate channel, that sort of stuff. And that is like Sam is the big one. Like me and Sam are like very, very prominent in lads. Shane is fairly active as well. Wolfie not so much. But he is there. He is a lad. But yeah, you've also got your people like Morgan, Marcus, Obi, that sort of people. Yeah,
I guess like bouncing back and forth again, and like I said, this is gonna happen with back to MCC Rising. So I assume it's been leaked, it's been hinted at. Northside Moray has confirmed there is going to be another MCC Rising. However, this Rising hint, yeah. Have you not seen a screenshot?
Oh, not like there's going to be one guaranteed like soon. It's just that there is going to be
there's going to be another MCC.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
But then obviously this tweet is hinting that it's going to be an MCC. By now, who knows? Maybe Rising would be announced by the time this podcast comes out. Who knows? But we're talking before it's been announced. Do you think they was hinting another MCC Rising, or do you think everyone's like kind of jumping the gun a little bit?
I think it would be really funny if it isn't, and they just like they're advertising some sort of like summer MCC event or something like that, and they were like the sun's gonna like rise or whatever. It would be hilarious because everybody right now is like so confident that it's rising. I've seen Discord, everybody's making teams, everybody's playing their videos. It would be hilarious, like top tier comedy if it wasn't. I mean, it most likely is. Let's be honest. I mean, I wouldn't think that they would mess up their wording like that and stuff like that. But I prefer to live in the world where it is just a badly worded tweet and everybody's about to get trolled so hard. It would be so funny.
But then it also becomes more believable when you see like CPK replying to the Rising. Does that mean MCC Rising? It's like, I know he obviously doesn't know the end. I mean, I guess technically he kind of does, but like he doesn't know the.
I don't think any players will know anything. If it is Rising, I don't think players will know. But yeah, Callum's a big MCC fan as it is anyway. Like, bro is as much of a fan as everybody else.
I mean, all things MCC literally is that. But I what's it called? I've worded in my tweets really well to the point of where I said like MCC Rising, but you apply in teams of 2, and then I also did like as like a joke, and I also did another one like I talked to Nuclear on the podcast. I said if it does happen, I've been predicting this, and like so like I said if like I haven't jumped the gun because I've gotten DMs from people as well going like, oh yeah, have you got anyone to team with? And I'm just like, it's not even been announced yet. Like I ain't planning anything just yet, But yeah, I think it'd be funny. But I reckon there will be another Rising. But then it's also a case of like with that 3-team tweet, maybe you apply in teams of 3 and you get like a participant on your team. Like who knows?
That'd be really cool. I actually really don't like the concept of Rising that much because I feel like it's kind of pointless. Not having any actual CCs there.
I think it was good for like because like AMZ benefited from it. The winning team literally Blushy and who was the other female on the team? They both got into the was it Jojo? Was on that team as well? They both got into the main event.
The only team that really mattered, as in like the fact that they got in Rising actually had an impact, other than obviously the fun of being in it for one time, was Orange, really.
What team was that again?
Everybody else basically got their exposure. Like a lot of people were already at the height of their exposure, have just kind of retained it or increased it basically because of other reasons. Like AMZ, for example, sure, getting MCC Rising was good for them, but they were already close with Tubbo and stuff. They were already featured on Tubbo streams, so that would have happened regardless. So the only real team that actually benefited, I would really say, in the long term is Orange, which is why I don't think it's. Again? I feel like it'd be nicer Orange. So it was like Eloise, Owen, Becky Mon, and
Wait, that was a team in Rising.
Yeah,
I'm really out of touch with these teams because I didn't even know Lackey was in Rising. I know, like Heikki Hate Me was. Lackey was in Rising, and I didn't even know about that.
Well,
I know Heike Hate Me was as well.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess then again, I was also like a big Bedrock player. And I wasn't really too in touch with the Java community. But yeah, I mean, so are you not gonna apply this year then? Because like I think like I agree with you in the fact that the concept's cool, but I also don't like the idea of like applying in teams of 4 because it's so hard. Like it's so I don't know. I feel like it's a lot easier to apply in a team of 2, for example, than it is a team of 4 kind of thing.
I would say, even if I wanted to apply with the testing rules that were established last time, I wouldn't be able to.
Oh, true. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
That being said, I don't even think I would apply. I don't like application. I don't feel like I should have to sell myself. You know, if I get chosen or whatever for something, I don't want to have to sell myself.
Yeah, I've heard you say this somewhere before. I think it was on a stream. I think someone asked you and
Yeah.
You said something. So I guess jumping from one tournament to multiple tournaments, how I got introduced to knowing who you were is because you're in every single fucking tournament. You are in Block Wars, you're an MCC tester, you are in Minecraft Mayhem, you're in Minecraft Mania, you played in a Fruit Wars, which was really, really scuffed, I heard, but you played in it nonetheless. Never again.
Pandora's
Box, a pet before it died, RIP.
Pixel Playoffs.
Yeah, we don't
Crown Quest.
I don't talk about Pixel Playoffs. Yeah, you're on my team in Crown Quest. Yeah. Yeah, we get Piggles, all right. You play in every single tournament. I'm actually meant to be playing in Mayhem. I think I'm at this point I'm guaranteed into the next event, which is cool because they want me to play, but I haven't been able to make the last 2 ones. So it's at that stage of like where like we want you to fucking play, so you're playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's the deal with so many tournaments then? I understand it's fun and it's enjoyable, but how comes you play in so many, and how comes you kind of like I don't know like with like I mean, you know, like with Fruit Wars, are you ever gonna play Fruit Wars again?
So with the tournaments, it was all because of the tweet I made. One day I was just like, man, I'm really bored. It actually mainly stemmed from the Block Wars split. Obviously, Block Wars split its roster to Origins and normal Block Wars, and it meant I was going to play a lot less, and I was, upset by that. I also Origins is tough to play in sometimes.
I heard it's really like sweaty.
It's very sweaty. Getting teams that you're a really big fan of is rough. The roster is very disjointed. There's a big disconnect. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get him any Block Wars. I no longer had the priority that I used to have in Origins. So I was there like, I want to play the Minecraft events. I really enjoy doing it. And I'm not enjoying Block Wars Origins as much, whatever. So I want to find more. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make a tweet. And the tweet worked like magic, like insane. And I started joining a lot of Minecraft events and playing in them because it's also content. People really enjoy event content because it's got storytelling to it. You're not just watching me have fun, or watching me pop off. You're watching me have fun and joke around and all that sort of stuff in the context of like, oh, this is the next game. We keep going. We move from point to point. So I think that's why I really enjoy events and why people enjoy watching them. So I keep playing in them so that I can keep streaming them, so that I can keep making videos out of them, so that people can enjoy it, sort of thing.
It's also a bit
and also
from the like constant MCC. Battle Box. Battle Box again. Sky Battle. Sky Battle again. Bit of parkour. Back to Sky Battle. 2-hour stream done.
Yeah. And also, it's I really enjoy helping them as well. I used to own a Minecraft event. It was a little rough around the edges, though. The concept did not align at all with what I believe in general. It was just because we wanted to cash in on a concept we thought would be interesting. But it fell apart mainly because back then my game design head was not it.
What was the
I had basically no team around me either. So yeah.
What was the concept? This is a good highlight.
It was inspired by Fall Guys. So there was like 40 players. After every game, a certain amount of players were eliminated, etc.
Oh, so like Side2 has that.
What do you say?
Side2, see, however, Side2.
Oh, yeah, the server.
Yeah, they have like a Fall Guys game. It's
but
like Mario Party.
But yeah, it just didn't really work because obviously when your streamer was eliminated, they just had to sit and wait for like 30 minutes. We had like a revival system where you could bet on the player, so you try and be more, like engrossed in the gameplay or whatever, but it didn't work. So eventually we're going to overhaul it. We're going to change it. I wrote this massive doc, but I had no team. Like, I had to push the builders in speech marks that I had to actually do stuff. The coder was super busy. He was like the only coder from the UHC community, so he was being hired by every single recorded round under the sun. So he wasn't committing as much time to it as he could, obviously, because also the money that was going into it wasn't a lot either. So eventually it just kind of faded out. But since then, obviously, me playing so many events gives me so much, game design knowledge. And now I can use that to help these events, even though I'm not a direct part of the leadership. I can help give the feedback. It's one of the big things I do, make sure I do. And while I can see people being upset at me being in so many Minecraft events, I do see a key difference between me and a lot of other people that do join them is I'm always sending a paragraph, well, not a paragraph, like paragraphs of feedback after every single season that I play, because I do care. I'm not just playing because, you know, I want a quick stream and I want to get out of there. I'm playing because I enjoyed it, and my appreciation of enjoying it is, hey, here's the things I like, here's the things I don't think that great, and here's how I think you can fix it moving forward. Yeah,
so that's fair enough. Yeah, and as long as you enjoy it as well, because it's also like a case of like with Mania, I guess I'm to say as well, like, and this wasn't anything to you because I think you deserve to play in the tournaments because, like you said, you give good feedback. You're basically a tester who gets to play in the main thing, which isn't a bad thing at all. It's great. I remember with, like, Mania, I was like, oh, like, because I played one season, got benched the next. I think I got benched first season, played one, got benched again, which is fine. Like, I don't expect to play in the tournaments, but it's also like, I was like, oh, like, you know, Piggles is free on the trot right now. You know, like, you know, switch up a little bit, a tiny bit. But there's also this other tournament I play in. You should give it a try if you like helping out smaller tournaments. It's called MCT. It's literally called Minecraft Tournament.
Original.
Yeah, but it's good. So I played in the first tournament or the second tournament, and they have like original games. Like, one of them is a clock game, and basically you have to count the ticks and then run to the tick that it is. So I kind of took your advice and gave like a shit ton of feedback for, like, because you could see other people, where other people were going. You could like hear too much, and it's like kind of thing. Like, I could barely hear the clicks, and then I could see where people were going, so I could literally just follow them and cheat. And it's like a lot of feedback stuff. And then they have like original games. Like, they have like a battle box, but it's actually capture the flag, which is pretty cool. So you should give it a try. I can always invite you to the Discord if you like. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to have you, but it's up to you. I think the next tournament's already been decided. The teams have already been decided, but I mean the one after, if you're down for that.
I'll take a look into it afterwards.
But yeah, no, you really enjoy it as well. You've done really well. Like Mayhem, you got a stupidly rigged team of Fire Breath Man, Wolfie, and the Femma.
Hey, there were some other broken ass teams in that season. I'm loving that.
I mean, your team was rigged. I don't care how broken the other teams are. Your team was rigged, okay? And you won the event as well, even more rigged. And then you got the team alongside Fire Breath Man again in the All Stars, which was a bit of a shit show.
Me and Shane have never lost a season of a Minecraft event that is canon.
All Stars doesn't count because that was a shit show anyways. You guys were gonna get targeted, 100%.
And it's not canon.
And it's not canon.
I'm holding to that. Me and Shane are 3 for 3. When we duo, we win. As long as it's canon.
I'm gonna make sure that I get put on a team with you in FBM and Mayhem, and I'm just gonna throw. Just gonna throw. I'm joking. I'd never do that. But yeah, I guess talking a bit more about Block Wars, I talked to Nebula a bit about this. The All Things MCC Block Wars team.
So that was a great team.
How many times have you played it? So the split, I would talk about the split, but the podcast we've already been, believe it or not, already been recording for 57 minutes, and we're still on your present. The thing that I was going to talk about the split, but I'd also like to hopefully have Wolfie on the podcast one day. Not sure if he'd ever do it, but if he ever would,
I don't think he will. But
I mean, you never know. You never know. I've had someone who's coming on the podcast who originally said no, and then after turned around and said yes. So. But I mean, I don't want to get too much into talking about the split anyways, because I don't want to spend ages talking about that. Plus, it's not really, like, there's probably things you don't know about anyways. But yeah, so the split, you played before the split. That was when, like, big, in quotation mark, big CCs played with, in quotation mark, smaller CCs, right?
Well, it's mainly just Callum and 5-Up. And Ant. Callum, 5-Up, and Ant.
And then the split happened, the smaller CCs in quotation marks, and then the bigger CCs in quotation marks, right? So with that being said, how many Block Wars have you played in? Not including Origins, because we've kind of mentioned on Origins. I want to know, like, main Block Wars. Like, how many of those have you played in?
So Block Wars 2. I was a sub for one, and I was on a team in the other.
Because I could have sworn I've seen more, like, streams, or are they Origin streams as well on YouTube?
That'll be Origins. I've played Origins since the split. I've played Origins twice since the split, and I've played 2 Block Wars. So
the first one you got subbed into, right?
No, the first one I was on a team.
That was All Things MCC team.
No. That was the last Origins. The last Origins I played was All Things MCC team.
Wait, All Things MCC was an Origins?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was. It was the last before the split.
Oh, okay. All right. That's why I keep getting confused with thinking it's a main tournament. That's why. Okay. So first time you played, you was with Ant Venom.
Nope.
Well, okay. You just tell me instead of me guessing.
The first time I played was on Purple Pelicans in Block Wars 2. It was me, Radoons, Caboodle, Magic, and Sandwich Lord, because Sandwich Lord subbed in for Ash after the first game. What a team!
Holy. Okay. And then you I'm not even gonna guess anymore. How did that event go?
It was a ton of fun. Obviously, we didn't win, which is obviously a bit of a shame. We got fourth. We were 800 points away from Bridges. You know, the final game.
Shabby. Yeah.
But obviously, it was a ton of fun. Of course, you know, it was very surreal being in an event with, you know, like Captain Sparkles. You know, like that's crazy. Being an event with, you know, killing Captain Sparkles in a Minecraft game is crazy to me. So yeah, that it was a ton of fun.
And then the second one, you got subbed into.
The second one I was subbed into Orange, which was with Yep, it was with Ant Venom, Simply Fur, Aimston, and Gold. Yo, it's Gold. That was obviously fantastic, great. I actually didn't know much of Fur until afterwards, and it's quite funny because I've even, you know, after teaming with him, I realized I actually watched some videos with him in before, and like, you know, they were like videos that I really enjoyed watching, that sort of stuff, and I never realized that I never drew the connection between the two of them. But yeah, that was a ton of fun. That is obviously, it's biased because, you know, team with Venom and all that sort of stuff, but that is the my favorite Block War season that I've played, and then that is followed. How well did we do? I got first individual.
Oh, sick. Oh, that's the one you got first indiv. Okay,
yeah, I got first individual. It's the second time I ever got first individual in a Minecraft event. And we got second as a team. We got into Bridges, but we lost Bridges. Which is a shame. In a perfect world, we would have won. Especially because Ant Venom's still not won a Minecraft event. And that would have been incredible if I could have got him that, but it is what it is. But yeah, it was incredible. And he's by far my best Block Wars / event experience in general. Closely followed by All Things MCC. All Things MCC was such a fun team, man. I loved that so much.
That was you, CPK, Nebula, Orange, right? Orange Juice.
Owen and Annie, yeah.
Yeah, that was a sick team. Because I remember like Nebula saying about CPK wanted like an All Things MCC. You got onto it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about Block Wars. I kind of wanted to touch on it, but I kind of was just talking about all tournaments as a whole. You've done well in all tournaments. I assume I'm going to see you in a lot more tournaments as well.
I've actually not got many coming up.
Well, I mean, I know Mayhem is planned next month. There'll probably be another Mania next month as well, of course.
There's actually 0. Wait, yeah, there's dead at 0 events right now that I'm in.
Did you apply for this Crown Quest?
No, I couldn't make it.
I didn't apply for it because I didn't want to apply for it after the last one. I had a great time teaming with you, by the way. I hope I was entertained.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
it was just inconvenient because it was also straight after Minecraft Mania, which I won, and then it was also at the same time as MCC. So it's like,
that's fair. It was inconvenient time wise. It's a shame they didn't move it. But yeah, there's not any micro events right now. Like, there's no teams that are out for micro events right now. There is something coming up, which I'm really excited for. Of course, I can't say. There's something coming up related to Minecraft event.
Block Wars Rising?
No. What? But I mean, it's just an event. Like, it's just, you know, it's nothing like out of the box. But a cool thing related to me in an event is coming up soon. Hopefully, okay. I'm 90% sure, and that will be not announced by the time this comes out. No, maybe no.
It's fine. You can tell me after the podcast.
It might be. It might be announced just after. It'll probably be announced just after.
Okay, so don't say anything about it.
Yeah.
But there's also this other tournament called. Have you ever heard of DCC?
Is that the MCC ripoff?
No, it's an MCC game. It's MCC, but made on Scratch.
What?
Yep.
You mean Scratch is in like the coding thing?
As in Scratch the coding thing. Yep. It's MCC inspired games but made on Scratch. And it's so sick. It's not really stream worthy because it takes 3 hours to play 6 games.
What, and it's an event?
It's an event. Yeah, it's an event. Played every single month. I played in it once. I played in it twice.
They have networking on Scratch.
No, so you do your own individual games. So like with like Parkour Warrior with like Parkour Tag, for example, you have to like submit 2 rounds of each. You can play as many as you want in the 10-minute time frame. And you basically have to submit like 2 rounds of how many points you can get from catching a ball and how many points you can get from avoiding the ball. And you submit, and then you basically get rack points from that. And then it's a bit scuffed, but that's what makes it good.
That's crazy.
And then you go on to like a final game of like Dodgeball, which is actually like it's like a tank game where you drive around and shoot the other people, and then that's Dodgeball. So it's really fun. I streamed on my own. Like I said, it's not really mainstream worthy, but it was really fun to play. But yeah, I don't want this podcast to be too long, mainly because we won't, but I also don't want to surpass the Ant Venom time because that was long to edit. That was very long to edit. So let's talk about your going from something very light and happy, sadly, to something a little bit deeper. So I mentioned this before we recorded the podcast. I also messaged you earlier. I'm really glad I delayed the podcast because I wouldn't have seen this video. You made a video about the future of your content. I watched it on my lunch break today. Should have wrote down some notes, but I didn't. But I did watch it. The background gameplay was very cool with the lads.
That was just some random footage that never became a video, and I was like, I actually went onto Hypixel and recorded like 10 minutes of me parkouring, but I was like, this lad's footage is funnier. Like, it's just we do weird stuff and just killing him. Like that's probably better.
Yeah, but so with that, you talked about the future of your career. You were kind of living off savings in the hopes that content would blow up a little bit. You saw my comment, you gave it a heart. I 100% agree with the algorithm. That's why I've kind of given up on the main channel. I have given up. I still want to upload on it, but like the main channel just isn't fun anymore because I know you can if you get lucky, like you said, but I can't do well with just having fun with content. That's why, like, my most recent video, I literally added a stupid outro because I thought it was funny and I wanted to do that. Yeah, so with that, you're talking about YouTube. You are going to continue to do YouTube, uploading YouTube videos that you want to upload. You're not going to do algorithm friendly YouTube. Streaming is going to cut down a bit, but it is time that you have to get off your ass and get a job. So yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit. So are you in the process now of looking for a job, or is it holding off a little bit?
It is holding off right now because I've got a few things coming up that basically I can't do it until then. But it's overall, it's not really much I can say about it because it's just a mess and it's like very confusing stuff. But yeah, I'm just I just occasionally searching Google. That's kind of the game. That's the game I'm playing right now.
Can I give you some advice from me?
Sure.
Well, I work full time. I always have. I did originally, my last job, I quit content creation for like 6 months. I never actually quit per se, but like I didn't upload or stream because I was working from like 12 till 9. My current job, I work from either 7 till 4 or 9 to 5:30, and I always have Mondays off, which is ideal for recording the podcast, other than the lights of today where we delayed it. But in regards to like content creation, if you can, like, just use Indeed, that's what I used, and just try and find a job that you can work mornings and come home and work content. Like when I used to work in the warehouse, I worked from 6 a.m. till 4 p.m. and I because I had so much me time, I thought of so many banging ideas. Yeah, I was only good for about 7 months before it drove me crazy, and I ended up but like that, like, just find a job that you can work, get paid for it, and then come home and still work on content, whether that be streaming, whether that be editing. Like now, tomorrow I'm at work, I'll come home and I'll edit the podcast. Well, maybe not tomorrow, but like
that's definitely the plan. I mean, some sort of part-time sort of deal.
It's also nice just to just make sure you're earning another income, because how I see this is what the other piece of advice is with like YouTube. I like the podcast. It's just a passion project. I just see it as a hobby. Even when hopefully one day I would like to start earning money from this podcast, because it is very time consuming, as you can imagine. But even then, it'd still be a hobby, it'd still be a passion project. Do not see it as a job, even if you are earning money, which I know you are. Don't see it as
I never will. That was part of the video.
No, yeah, I know. I'm just like kind of reiterating, like, I agree with you that that's the right thing to do, is what I mean. I'm not trying to give you advice in a sense of like, here, take this, you're not, what you're doing is wrong, as in like, I'm agreeing, like, keep that same mentality, it's a very good mentality to have, kind of thing. Talking a bit more about the video then, from what I recall anyways, you talked about how things are going to slow down. In August you're taking a break from streaming for 2 weeks. What's a little bit more in depth, because it's the podcast, what's the deal with that?
Well, I'm gonna be, like, I already was gonna be away. So instead of me trying to like clamber around and find ways to continue doing the streams and stuff like that, I didn't want to like force myself to do stuff like that. And also, it'd just be nice to just kind of relax and just kind of, not have to, on days like this, I've not streamed today. Like it's almost 9 p.m. I've not streamed yet. So like, it's always in the back of my head, and it's like, once I've done it, I'm like at a weird point where I'm like, once I've done it, I'm like, oh, what else am I gonna do in my day? But until I do it, I'm like, oh, I have to do it, And it'll be nice not to kind of have that. And also, it'll be more helpful to kind of also help my voice recover. Holy hell, my voice is still not recovered since goddamn start of May. So yeah, it'll be very helpful for that as well, for sure.
Wait, what's at the start of May? Sorry.
I did my 24-hour fundraiser stream for some dental surgery I had to have.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
incredible.
May?
I think it was in May, yeah.
Oh my god, the time's flown. We're in July now.
Yeah, definitely.
God, okay.
It's fun, especially for me, because I've had 2 trips, but yeah.
It actually wasn't for the dental surgery, so you could go to Paris. That's
Yeah,
basically dental surgery.
Trust me, that stream like literally made like the exact amount of what it cost me to get the two sorted and stuff like that. So I was so grateful, because I hate asking for like donations and stuff like that. I hate it so much. It feels so wrong. But yeah, it was the one time I did it, and I expected not to get much anyway. You know, maybe I get a little bit. But yeah, everybody was really supportive, and I literally hit exactly the number that I was hoping to. So it literally, you know, the money went out and then the money went back in. So that was
exactly
very well, very much appreciated.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you kind of build like a good thing in the community. Like you're well known, you're well respected, that kind of idea. So, but yeah, I kind of want to talk about the quitting video, not too much. I wrote it down as quitting video. I know you're not quitting. Piggles is not quitting. Sorry, I just wrote it down as talk about possibly quitting video. Because I don't actually write down questions, I just write down notes.
That's fair.
But yeah, so with that, once your like streams are gonna slow down and stuff. Once you come back, is the Thursday uploads always gonna happen? Like you said, like in a world there might be you quitting. Is the likelihood of that really low?
Yeah. I mean, I for the longest time when I was doing YouTube and stuff, I was there like, oh, you don't need to be consistent, man. I was like so copium on the fact that like you could just upload whenever you felt like it and it'd be fine. But I realized that consistency really is the thing. You know, people said on the replies to that video that they do tune in specifically on Thursdays at 7 p.m. watch the videos. And I feel like the reason why I can continue going on as I am right now anyway, or have been, is because I see it as like my sort of responsibility, you know. Like there's people out there who know that I do it, expect that I do it, and want me to do it. So I'm responsible for all those people's, you know, like enjoyment to do that thing. So I don't ever want to not do it. You know, I might miss occasional weeks more than usual with videos, maybe, you know, like occasional. I think I've missed like 2 or 3 weeks or something of videos. I've usually, you know, replaced it with a stream or something, but and maybe, you know, there'll be a couple more of those or something like that. But yeah, I don't ever see it stopping altogether. The only way that would happen is if YouTube stuff hit a crazy decline and I went full stream. Don't think I would do, but yeah, that'd be the only way that would happen.
Are you always going to be streaming on Twitch?
I've considered not, because obviously there's all that uncertainty and, you know, Kick. I made a Kick account. That's the thing I did. I don't know why, but I did do it.
Probably to secure name. I haven't, so someone can easily take my name if they want to. I don't really care.
Yeah, I can't imagine I'll move off Twitch. I mean, I used to stream on YouTube anyway. Like all the events I used to play, I streamed on YouTube, and then when I started doing my streams a week, I moved over to Twitch, and then all my event stuff went over there when I felt confident enough with the viewership and that all the people who would want to watch it would be on Twitch rather than YouTube. I can't imagine I would move off of Twitch now at this point. Also, because I don't think Twitch is going to die. Let's be honest. It's you know, that all that Twitter stuff is gone now. Really, you know, the split sucks. The stuff that's going on was sucked.
It still does suck, month, man.
But yeah, you know, people forgot, and Twitch is still going to reign supreme. I checked Minecraft, and the highest viewership that was on Minecraft was 40 viewers. So yeah, I'm going to be sticking on Twitch.
Or was that on Kick?
Yeah, I was on Kick. Yeah.
Yeah, see, exactly. I guess it's kind of linking into, unless you have anything else to say. Do you have anything else to say about the matter that you wanted to say that you didn't send a video, or is it all
with the video?
Just in general.
Not really. No.
Well, if anyone wants to go, oh yeah, sorry, Karen, my bad.
No, you do you.
I was gonna say, if anyone wants to go and check out the video, the specific title is My Future with Content Creation, uploaded on the ItzIgglesPiggles channel, not on a Thursday.
Not on a Thursday.
Outrageous! I can't believe you broke.
There is still a video on Thursday though. I made sure it's not this week's video.
But you broke the streak.
Well, I mean, I've technically broke the streak with the shorts that I've uploaded, but you know.
Yeah, but it doesn't count. But with that being said, kind of linking into the future. I guess we've kind of already talked about it, but a little rough down. What's the future of Piggles? Any plans? Anything you want to do? If TwitchCon's in London next year, would you want to go? Is there any events like Insomnia, Comic Con? Anything in general, Piggles? What is the plan for you?
I mentioned this in the video, the content creation video. I mentioned an idea of starting another channel, which is like very, very low maintenance, where I do sort of like Wolfie does those sort of mogul mail type videos.
I've heard about it. I haven't really watched. I watched the MCC Rising one, to be fair.
Yeah, I've been considering doing a channel kind of like that, where I just, you know, every week I just upload a video just talking about some topic I care about, some topic I'm passionate about, you know, whether it's relevant at the time or whether it's, you know, something else. Because I can ramble ramble a lot about stuff I'm passionate about. The people around me know that. So I've been considering that because it could be a nice way for me to, appeal to a different demographic, be more like me, videos as well. It's not a case of me just like joking around or playing Minecraft or whatever. It's literally just like me talking about something I care about in my way, I've been considering doing that because it would be a nice way to continue doing a lot of content that wouldn't be super high effort because, I'd literally just be, I'd just start recording and then just start speaking about some random thing, like I could do one on Spider-Verse. Great film. Anyway.
Great film.
And then also, I've talked about this a lot. I'd love to run a Minecraft event. It would be awesome. Not had the opportunity to do so. Well, I have had the opportunity to do so, but we don't talk about that one. I feel like now I'm at a point where I have a lot of knowledge that could really help it, but obviously I know that it requires a big team, but that would be really great to sort of run an event and like make sure, there's a lot of errors that I see people make all the time. I would really love to help Twitch Rivals out. I would really, really love to help Twitch Rivals out. I saw your tweet
about that, yeah.
It is such a shame seeing the stuff they push out, and I know they struggle with like legal things. They're like, oh, we have to meet these deadlines for this, and that, but I feel like if you had somebody who just knew, like, look, if you drop this right now, it's gonna rough everything up, like someone to properly keep pushing back. I feel like I could really help with that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'll never get an opportunity. That's for sure. What do you say?
Who even runs Switch Rivals?
I don't know who runs the. I don't know. I know Cloudflare is a big part of it, but I don't know who runs it per se and who's in charge of all the issues that I kind of have seen with the micro events and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, just trying my best to keep doing what I'm doing. Increasing exposure and growing would obviously be nice, but that's not going to change the stuff I'm doing in an attempt to do that. I'm not going to sit there and be like, all right, guys, I suddenly care a lot about MCC because it's getting views, guys. I'm all of a sudden I do MCC predictions. I'm streaming when the teams are dropping because everybody can flock to my stream. Then yeah, that ain't me, and that's never gonna be me.
Pew, pew,
but yeah.
Pew, pew. That's
no shots being fired. That's just
fired.
It's generic statements,
as long as you don't mind it being said, I'm sure like the people who do it are friends with you anyway, so they know it wouldn't be like a bad thing.
The people who do it know that they do it, So
if it works, it works. I mean, Twitch partners, can't complain. They are though, aren't they? So, but yeah. I guess with the tournament thing, which I was meant to say earlier, now that you brought it back up with the tournament, I think it was a really cool idea, but I can also see why it probably just never work because if you get like a big streamer in and they get eliminated first round, it's just like bang, viewers gone.
Yeah. Oh, it was an interesting concept. I mean, we were changing the entire concept though. Like we were literally the next season that we were gonna do was scrapping the whole elimination thing, and it was just gonna be team based.
Yeah, well, maybe.
We had a really cool game concept in there that everybody loved. It was based off of Sonic, obviously.
Just join not.
Where it's like our Let me do that real quick. It was like our race game was based off of Sonic, and I don't know if you know much about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes,
but it was basically like 3 laps on 3 different maps from the Sonic the Hedgehog series. So like the first part of the lap was in Green Hill Zone, and then you'd move to Emerald Coast, which is the first stage in Sonic Adventure 1, and then you would move into City Escape, which is the first stage from Sonic Adventure 2, and then you'd complete the lap, and it had like the music playing in the relevant areas. So you had Green Hill Zone at the start, Emerald Coast, and then City Escape at the end, and then the final lap played Supersonic Racing, so it's really hype, and then as you were running, you could collect rings, and then if you had the more rings you had, the faster you moved, and then if you hit another player, then they would lose rings, stuff like that. It was a really fun game that people really liked. I'd love to do more stuff like that, more gimmicky sort of games. I feel like need more gimmicks in Minecraft events. Why is no event? I've considered this idea before of taking the best Minecraft map creators, like Sprint Racer, stuff like that, taking all of them and making an event with them all. Imagine, Sprint Racer game mode, it's very much like Mario Kart. Imagine you got the developers there, were like, hey, I want to make an event with, I want your game to be a part of it. Can you make an event version of your game? And it's also cross promo, it's like, all right, you enjoy watching this? You want to practice for this? Here's the IP to the server. Here's the download for the world, that sort of stuff. Be really cool. But yeah, why is no event done a Mario Kart, like an actual Mario Kart racing minigame?
Well, I mean,
why not?
Look at the one that happened in Crown Quest. Remember in Crown Quest?
That wasn't really Mario Kart.
Yeah, but still, it's a bit thing. But and you were worried. You're saying all this about Sonic and Mario Kart and stuff, and you were worried about getting copyright striked about ePheno. And now you're saying about Sonic and Mario.
Well, no, because Mario Kart, you wouldn't call it Mario Kart, and you wouldn't have any relation to Mario. It would just be, a racing game with gimmicks like Mario Kart. Well, Sonic-wise, you could use Sonic all you want. Sega don't care. That's why we love Sonic. I use Sonic music all the time. They don't copyright claim for Sonic music and stuff like that. They're amazing like that.
So I played in an event on Minecraft Bedrock Edition, where I won $500.
Wow.
I got scammed out of $1,000, and I stand by it to this day. One of the games in the tournament, they have a game. It was like a server. It was an actual server called Galaxy that hosted it. They haven't hosted one since, maybe because of the aftermath of the event. But like one of the games they have on their server is called Hyper Racers. It's Mario Kart. It's literally is Mario Kart, and that was in the tournament, and I can say it was really really fun. But it was also it didn't really work too well for the mobile players, which was the issue. But yeah, no, it was a really fun event. I got down to like a 1v1 in the Fortnite Battle Royale kind of game mode that they have, and I got ping diffed like crazy to the point where they actually had to check to see if the other person was reaching.
That's hype.
That's when I got scammed out of an extra 500. Yeah, they had like a Hyper Racers game, which was quite fun.
Yeah.
There was also another question I thought of while we were talking about that, and I really wanted to ask it, and I can't remember it now. It's gone out of my head.
Oh,
so we'll move into the Twitter questions.
Twitter questions.
So the first one comes from Xifia. I both said that right.
Zyphia.
Zyphia. XYPHIA.
Yeah.
Their question was, what event do you think has the most potential? So I thought this was
hard
obvious.
questions.
I thought this was obvious.
Goddamn hard questions.
But you said it's not obvious. So
Now, potential is has a lot in it, you know, like it's a big word, you know, it depends what kind of potential you're talking about, you know. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. Potential to like grow as big as, you know, like MCC or like Block Wars is right now.
Mayhem.
Probably Mayhem or PB. One of the two.
I always forget Pandora boxes. I don't know why I keep.
And then like game, like how fun it is, like
Pandora's
is like
isn't consistent enough in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. But most fun, most like I could see just being enjoyed the most. Potential to be.
You love the idea of multi-spleef, and
I love multi-spleef. I love the racing game concept. The builds are fantastic. The PP games are not great though.
The what games? The PvP games.
Yeah, the PvP is very rough on there. But then again, so it's on every event. I don't know. I guess I'd just say Mayhem overall, just about. As it stands right now, the main thing I'd say with Mayhem that allows it to like kind of build upon potential would definitely be the build quality. I rave about the build quality all the time. Mayhem's build quality is literally like on par, if not better than MCC, and that you could say it's a hot take if you want, but like that, I'm just spitting facts with that one.
Because like with Mania, I feel like it has potential. The issue with Mania is it's very much a friends tournament.
I don't think that's an issue. We actually have a talk about this in the Discord. I mean, gaining traction, yes, but I very much am on the side of Mania saying that I've told them not to invite every person who asks. I've said myself that I've personally not like invited people who I'm friends with because I know they'll end up with the same generic roster that every other event has, and I don't want them to have that. You know, I don't want them to be on the, you know, the rough decision of, you know, abandoning all their loyal, you know, community members because there's a few CCs that want to play the event for 2 hours and then leave, you know.
So what I mean is like potential wise. I was never saying it's a bad thing. I think it's great.
Oh yeah, no, I
mean potential to grow wise because of it only being like this. I don't think it will ever become like. Whereas like Mayhem are looking to become like big. You can tell. Like I feel like they have a lot of potential. It's like Mania, they would have potential if they did that, but I think it's very good that they're not doing it because it's very much just like a friends tournament, which is like I said, not. I didn't mean it like a bad way at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, the second question comes from Mr. Kavaman from Minecraft Mania. And there's a reason I didn't ask this question, is because I wanted to save it to a question. And it was, what made you want to join so many small MC events, even knowing most of them are scuffed? And I want to reword that. So I'm going to reword it. It's still the same question. But what made you want to join so many small MC events, even with the possibility of them being scuffed?
We kind of touched on this earlier. You know, I wanted more stuff to do, more streams, more recordings. People enjoy the storytelling of events, but small events as well. I feel like I'm at a point where I can help give some light, you know, shine some light on these events. I have done. I mean, these events have grown a lot more, and for better or for worse, I'll admit. I have, you know, unintentionally kind of ruined some of the rosters by, you know, joining, and then everybody else wants to join and that sort of stuff. And also, it's nice. A lot of these small events have people who are viewers of mine and stuff like that, and I feel like it's nice to be able to connect with them as well on a common ground. rather than, people might feel awkward, interacting with me, or, you can't really just send me a DM and, that just says hi and then we'll start a conversation, that sort of thing. Whereas with these events, I'm always looking occasionally in the chats, and if people mention my name, I'll be like, oh, hi, how's it going? Whatever, you can, if you talk about a conversation that we're both involved in, we'll be involved, and I feel like that's one of the reasons as well. And scuffed wise, everybody makes mistakes. Like, I don't mind a little bit of scuffed in an event. Nobody's perfect. You have to have these scuff things in order to improve on them. MCC was like that. Blog Wars was like that. So I really don't mind scuffness. I mean, I mind to a degree. Obviously, there's some scenarios where every game being super scuffed and, the teams being a bit disjointed and stuff like that, you can start being a little rough. But for the most part, you can't, at the end of the day, all these people that make these events are making them completely free of charge. I'm not paying to play these. I'm not doing literally anything that, costs me anything other than my time. And all I'm getting out of it is a fun time. So, yeah.
Fair enough. And then the last one comes from Cuba Babylon.
Yep.
What advice would you give for starting events, very new events, to make them better?
Whew. Okay, let me
MCC
think.
tester here, lads.
Don't invite anybody who has any sort of following, because you will end up with a generic sweaty roster.
But then what if they want it to be a bigger...
Even so, don't do that. Your better ways would be inviting people who have connections. So people like me, sort of thing.
Invite me.
Yeah. No, people like on my sort of level of people that do content creation, and like you can kind of build up the ladder. Like if you invite like a lad, you could end up inviting me, and then I could end up inviting Shane, or any lad could end up inviting Shane, and whatever.
Wouldn't that be the same generic roster, no?
No, because you're inviting like individual steps. You're not inviting like if you invite. Well, I guess it depends. With the lads example, if you invite a certain lad, they might literally let the floodgates open and invite a ton of lads. But you want to ideally, you don't want to make your event super open, is what I would say. You don't want to invite somebody and be like, oh hey, invite anybody you want, and then they invite 10 other lads, and then your event roster is Block Wars Origins. You don't want that.
Okay, yeah.
But inviting different individuals from different areas, keeping things unique is obviously great. But obviously inviting people who have the connections to get to the bigger people you actually want, as opposed to the people for the sake of the fact that conventionally they're bigger, even though they're not going to attract that much of an audience to the event. Yeah, that's a mistake, unfortunately, Mayhem did make to a degree. But it is what it is. Other thing is, just above all else, prioritize the games being fun. That's also another reason why I joined the small micro events. They make the games because they think they'll be fun at the core. They don't sit there and be like, oh, you know what? We need this. We need this kind of game. They don't sit there and be like, all right, the event right now is missing this. When you first put an event together, you're like, what would be fun? And that's why the game, the games might be a little scuffed. They may not have the best builds. They may have a couple glitches, a couple exploits, but at the core, they're made to be fun. And I feel like that's what you should always remember when making a Minecraft event. And I guess also incentivize feedback. Try and encourage people to give you feedback, and don't take it the wrong way. I've never had this happen, actually, at least to my knowledge. Maybe people are behind my back, but don't get upset if people give feedback that, it may not be worded the best, but don't be upset, because at the end of the day, at least I guess I speak for myself, but the majority of people I feel like will give feedback to help. That's the intention at the end of the day. So don't take that stuff to heart, I would say.
That's the thing, like with this MCT tournament, they took my feedback really, really well, and they have a survival games which is absolutely shit, and they know I think it's shit. They haven't played like 1 or 2 seasons, so maybe it's improved. But like with the clock game, it's such a weird, random game, but it was really, really fun. Multi-split feels like so crazy, but it looked really, really fun. Like that, like because the event organizers before, instead of thinking what will our creators find fun, they were like, what do we think is fun, and let's see if our creators find it fun as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, but yeah, Piggles, I can't remember what the question was I was going to ask you, so if it clearly wasn't important. However, sadly, the podcast has come to an end, but also luckily enough, because it's not going to be the end for the podcast. Good. I always like to give this part of the podcast a moment for you to promote yourself. Where can people find you? What is your out and everything? All that kind of jazz.
You can find me. Just use let me try and use my typical streaming shtick. I make weekly videos every Thursday at 7 p.m. BST. You can check them out on my YouTube, YouTube at Piggles. That's the thing on YouTube now. You just have ads. I also stream 4 days a week, every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday around 5 to 7 p.m. BST. You can find that at ItzIgglesPiggles ItzIgglesPiggles, ItzIgglesPiggles on Twitch. And I also have a Twitter, which is basically the same, but without the S on Iggles. So ItzIgglesPiggles, where you can find me on Twitter posting about random various things. And I think that's about all the things I would want to plug.
Fair enough. Well, Piggles, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. You've been an amazing guest, and we have recorded for so long. I'm gonna fucking hate editing this. But to end on a very scary note, Piggles. Force momentum.
Ooh. Okay. Well.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
It's sure been a pleasure to be here. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Fantastic. Loved it so much.
Did I ruin it?
I'm going to speak so much praise about this podcast now. When I get out of it. Fantastic.
Thank you, Piggles, for being amazing. In all senses, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm glad I finally got you on the podcast after being rejected at Discord friend request. So. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching. This has been the Inside Force Momentum podcast.
That's outrageous.
I'll see you all later. See you next week. Peace.
Bye.